Welcome to a very special edition of Nostalgia Alley, from elegant jazz guitar to sing-along tunes to the best in classic pop tunes. Flip Peters is our guest tonight. The resume is unbelievable. From the Plaza Hotel to the Waldorf Astoria, he has entertained such clients as AT&T, Coca-Cola, and celebrities like Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Michael Bolton, Estee Lauder, and Hillary Rodham Clinton. Sounds like the guests we've had on this show.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. Good to see you.
Happy birthday.
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Oh, thank you. Actually, it is my birthday today, and it also is a very special day because I'm celebrating my 85th year in show business.
Really?
Absolutely. So between the two, it's an exciting night. Let me ask you, how did you get started in the music business?
Well, I got started playing jazz when I was a young teenager, playing guitar rather, when I was a young teenager. I was listening to jazz already, but I actually started playing guitar, playing the music of Peter, Paul and Mary, Bob Dylan,
yes,
and Pete Seeger. I was a big folk fan, and I just always knew that I wanted to play guitar as my main gig. And well, I got into the business of performing for money. In the very early 70s, I started playing with a local band that did weddings, bar mitzvahs, and that sort of thing. And we did many of those, and continued to play those, and played in clubs, played solo gigs, singing and playing pop music, and played in some jazz clubs, playing some, maybe a little bit more.
Now, Flip is one of the busiest people in show business. Other than James Brown, I think Flip is the busiest guy, because I call him, he's always doing a gig, he's always doing something.
Well, you just always get me when I'm
I'll
on
tell
a gig
you.
or a rehearsal or something.
The hardest working guy in show business. Some of the famous people you've played with. Tell us a little bit about these wonderful stars that you played for.
Well, the stars that you mentioned, now I actually didn't play with them, but I had the pleasure of performing for them at, celebrity parties, that sort of thing. When I was in the house band at the Rainbow Room, as you mentioned, we used to play celebrity parties. Sometimes people would have a run at Radio City, and then they'd come over for a reception at the Rainbow Room. That's when I played for Sinatra and Sammy Davis.
What were they like for Sinatra and Sammy Davis?
Well, Sinatra, he did acknowledge the band. He walked by and gave us a friendly wave as we played New York, New York. Sammy Davis came over and shook our hands and was very gracious and said hello, that was about the extent of the exposure, to Sinatra we had, was the friendly wave.
Not too much an exposure with Sinatra. He's
Not
kind of a hard
much.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very hard.
But it was nice getting a little acknowledgement.
Now, you know the old expression, they don't write them like they used to. Everybody says that. Why don't they write them like they used to?
There's a couple of reasons, I believe.
Okay.
Now, this is just a theory, but in the days when they were writing them like they used to, now songwriting was a craft that was practiced by people who, sat in little cubes in the Brill Building in New York City, among other places, and just turned out songs all day long, and then song pluggers, which is how George Gershwin actually, it was his first gig in music, was as a song plugger, would sit in the windows of music stores playing the songs on the piano, and people would buy sheet music. Sheet music was actually more of a vehicle for selling music than records.
Interesting.
So the writing of songs was a real separate craft, and in that day, you don't really get too much of a crossover between the writers and the performers. So you had Irving Berlin writing these incredible songs, and then you had other people, Bing Crosby, Fred Astaire,
the greats,
all these great people performing the songs, and then Well, around the time that maybe you and I were young fellas, that started to change. In the early days of rock and roll, actually, they still largely not completely, but largely followed that pattern where you had professional songwriters supplying material to the artists. But little by little, the performer-writer became more the norm. And with the advent of rock and roll, which I'm not going to knock, but with the advent of rock and roll, music production became as important, sometimes, as the actual song and the performance. Again, these are theories. I'm not trying to convince anybody. But so production became extremely important, and overall sound, and sometimes what we might consider weaker material, went on to become really great hits. Which, of course, is not to say that all of the music from way back when is great and that they didn't have some weaker material here and there too.
Yeah.
But
some of the lyrics, Moon and June, and the corny stuff, yeah.
Well, and actually, I guess that might be part of the reason too, because maybe it just burned itself out and people had heard the rhymes of arms and charms just enough times that they couldn't take it anymore. But they really, by and large, they don't write them.
They really don't.
Like
Some of the
anymore.
great stuff does.
Although they're, growing up in the '60s as I did, I can look back and say that there are songs and songwriters that really do hold up. Obviously, of course, the Beatles.
Oh, absolutely.
Stevie Wonder
Absolutely.
wrote some really great material.
Just can't beat it. Actually, enough talk.
Okay.
Let's get to some music.
Okay, so you're going to sing for us.
And I'm going to, no, we don't want to turn the audience off. We're going to have the magic of flip. We're going to flip over flip. And why don't you do a few of the wonderful, you see, it's that corny rhyme again.
That's really bad.
I know. But why don't you do a medley of some of the wonderful songs.
Songs? Well,
I see you got the really classic guitar
now
there.
this is a Gibson Johnny
Oh.
Smith guitar. It was built in 1968. Of course, obviously before your time or my
Oh,
time.
of course, certainly.
So, well, actually, hearing about how you and Joan, how you proposed to her, this makes me think of this next song. This is a song by Rodgers and Hart. Isn't it romantic? Music in the night, a song that can be heard. Isn't it romantic? Moving shadows right, the oldest living word. I hear the breezes playing in the trees above, while all the world is saying we were meant for love. Isn't it romantic? Merely to be young on such a night as this. Isn't it romantic? Every note that's sung is like a lover's kiss. Sweet symbols in the moonlight. Do you mean that I will fall in love perchance? Isn't it romance? Isn't it romantic? Merely to be young on such a night as this. Isn't it romantic? Every note that's sung is like a lover's kiss. Sweet symbols in the moonlight. Do you mean that I will fall in love perchance? Isn't it romance?
Very
Isn't it
nice.
romantic? Thank you. Now that was our theme song at the Rainbow Room. Nice job. So let's see. How about another?
Yes.
How about another great American pop song? This was written in 1934, and just to let you know,
that Bruce Springsteen wasn't the first to write songs in New Jersey. This was written by a student at Princeton whose name escapes me at the moment, but it was written in 1934 for a musical that they put on at Princeton, and it goes like this. East of the sun and west of the moon, we'll build a dream house of love, dear, near to the sun in the day, near to the moon at night. We'll live in a lovely way, dear, living on love and pale moonlight, just you and I, forever and a day. Love will not die, we'll keep it that way. Up among the stars we'll find a harmony of life to a lovely tune, east of the sun and west of the moon, dear, east of the sun and west of the moon. Up among the stars we'll find a harmony of life to a lovely tune, east of the sun and west of the moon, dear, east of the sun and west of the moon.
Beautiful.
Thank you. What else would you like?
Oh, God. My mother-in-law's favorite song, Stardust.
That was Stardust. That's right, I remember doing that.
Stardust, Hoagie Carmichael.
And now the purple dusk of twilight time steals across the meadows of my heart. High up in the sky, the little stars climb, always reminding me that we're apart. You wander down the lane and far away, leaving me a song that will not die. Love is now the stardust of yesterday, the memory of love gone by. Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely night dreaming of a song. That melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you when our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration. Oh, but that was long ago. Now my consolation is in the stardust of a song beside a garden wall. When stars are bright, you are in my arms. The nightingale tells his fairy tale of paradise where roses grew, though I dream in vain. In my heart it will remain, my stardust memory, the memory of love's refrain.
What a song. You're an inspiration with this music.
Well, thank you, Mike.
We're going to take a break right now. Now, you people at home, you viewers at home, if you want to pull back the carpets and dance, by all means, we'll be back right after this. Don't touch that dial.
In this economic downturn, libraries across New Jersey are reporting jumps in attendance of as much as 50% over the past year. Nearly 200,000 people use our computers every week.
Who'd have guessed that I'd be job hunting at my age? After spending several hours at home trying to upload my resume, I was just overwhelmed. My library showed me how to do it. Now I'm gaining back my confidence.
New Jersey libraries are transforming lives. Tell us your story.
Welcome back to Nostalgia Alley. Flip Peters, our guest. Fabulous, fabulous music. I want you to play a lot more, but I wanted to ask you one question.
What's that?
If George Gershwin came back on this planet, do you think he'd be popular?
Yes.
Do you?
I think.
Is there an audience for that?
You know, I think if George Gershwin came back, he might possibly update his sound a little bit.
Mhm.
Not that he would be doing hip hop.
No, I hope not.
he might love the music of people like John Williams and people, more contemporary movie composers, and he might, update his sound a little bit. But greatness like that is always going to be appreciated.
That's good. That's what I want to
I
hear.
think so.
Good. There's hope. There's hope.
There is hope.
Now, I love the music. Where can we see you? What are some of the gigs coming up for Flip Peters?
I got a couple of interesting projects that I'm working with these days. I'm working with a band called the Beacon Hill Jazz Band, which I think you would really enjoy. We play music more from the era of the late 50s, that California West Coast jazz sound.
Yeah.
Kind of cool jazz. It's a group that features a small horn section and a rhythm section, also with some fine singers. So we're performing at the Watchung Arts Center this Saturday, I believe that's the 18th, Watchung Arts Center. And then I've been working with a group called String Theory, which is another interesting musical ensemble, which features a string quartet as well as the big acoustic bass, and myself on guitar, and we do a mixture of light classical and jazz and a bunch of different stuff and Beatles tunes and things. So we'll be performing at the Manalapan Public Library on the 27th of next month of November, and Shanghai Jazz on the 12th of
Shanghai
December.
Jazz, Madison, New Jersey.
Right, we
Yes.
performed at Shanghai Jazz a couple of weeks ago.
Lovely place.
Very lovely place. So those are a couple of gigs, that are public gigs where people can come out. Of course, I do the variety of weddings and things like Where I First Met You, when I played your mother-in-law's
Right.
birthday party.
We're going to put up your website and how they can contact you
That'd
for
be great.
anything that they may want, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to want the magic of Flip Peters. And Flip, why don't you play a couple of the great classic songs?
Well, sure, I will. How about if we do
Good old days.
a little one of the great songs, a little something from Fats Waller,
Oh, I love Flex.
called Crazy About My Baby. You might know that one. I'm walking on air, for I've left all my blue days behind. I've learned how to care, yes, yes, now there's love, really love, on my mind. I'm the world's most happy creature, tell me what can worry be? I'm crazy about my baby's crazy about me. Mr. Cupid was the teacher, and the reason we agree. I'm crazy about my baby, and my baby's crazy about me. Parson, get your book out, hold it in your hand, keep a steady lookout. You can understand, we're an A1 combination, a perfect he and she. Oh, I'm crazy about my baby, and my baby's crazy about me. Crazy about my baby's crazy about me. Oh, I'm crazy about my baby's crazy about me. Parson, get your book out, hold it in your hand, keep a steady lookout. You can understand, we're an A1 combination, a perfect he and she. I'm crazy about my baby's crazy about me. And as Fats Waller himself would say, I'm exasperated by the offspring, and the offspring exasperated about me.
Well, we're crazy about you. Do you have a favorite song?
Do I have a
Do you have
favorite
a
song?
favorite
Well,
song?
I already did my favorite song.
What is that?
Stardust.
Stardust,
That's
okay.
my favorite song in the world. But here's another one of my favorites. This is a great song from Irving Berlin.
You can't go wrong with Irving.
You really can't go wrong with Irving. This is a little something he called Blue Skies.
Okay.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing their song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Well, I never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things looking so right, noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, oh my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Well, I never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things looking so right, noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Irving would be applauding now.
Irving.
He would be applauding now. For his
That would
song.
be great. Well, I applaud him
Oh,
every
absolutely.
day.
And another favorite song, or
Another favorite song?
you know what we could do? Do you have some Beatles songs?
Well, let's not do Beatles.
Okay,
Let's stick with the
let's stick with the old
older
time.
era.
Okay,
Because here's a song I had in mind to do. Written by a great songwriter, one of the greatest songwriters that many people have never heard of. You probably know him. Harry Warren.
oh, of course.
Harry Warren.
Warren and Dubin, right?
Warren and Dubin.
Yes.
Among other. He
Among
wrote
others,
with a
yeah.
lot of lyricists, including
Well, we'll stick with Warren and Dubin.
Frank Lesser.
Oh, yes,
That's not
of
the one I'm
course.
thinking of. But in any case, Johnny Mercer. That's what
Johnny
I'm thinking.
Mercer,
Including
yeah.
Johnny Mercer, Frank Lesser. But here's a song that he wrote. Very pretty song. You might not be an angel, 'cause angels are so few. And until the day that one comes along, I'll string along with you. I'm looking for an angel to sing my love songs to. And until the day that one comes along, I'll sing my songs to you. For every little fault that you have, say I've got 3 or 4. The little human faults you do have make me love you more. You might not be an angel, but still I'm sure you'll do. And until the day that one comes along, I'll string along with you. The little human faults you do have make me love you more. You might not be an angel, but still I'm sure you'll do. And until the day that one comes along, I'll string along with you.
Beautiful. The Days of Romance.
Now, isn't that a lovely song?
Yeah, it's a lovely song. And not too well known. That's a new one on me.
Really?
Absolutely.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Well, I'm glad I stumped you.
You
because
did.
That
You stumped
takes
me.
some doing.
You stumped Dr. Nostalgia.
That takes some doing, yeah. Well, now you have another song to be nostalgic about.
Absolutely. I'm putting that down on my book.
Do.
Now, what else do you have for us?
What else do I have? Well, I had an idea.
Flip, you know one person we haven't heard from, and that's George Gershwin,
Yeah.
one of the greats of all
You
time.
did
George
mention-
and Ira
You
Gershwin.
did mention Gershwin a little
Yeah.
bit ago.
Do we have a little Gershwin
Why don't
song
we do
we
one
can
of
do?
his songs? Yeah.
Okay.
Embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Embrace me, my irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, my heart grows tipsy in me. You alone, and you bring out the gypsy in me. I love all the many charms about you. Above all, I want my arms about you. So don't be a naughty baby. Come to Papa do. My sweet embraceable you. How about this one from Gershwin now? I've got rhythm, I've got music, I've got my girl who could ask for anything more. I've got daisies in green pastures, I got my girl who could ask for anything more. Old man trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him round my door. I've got good times, no more bad times. I've got my girl who could ask for anything more, who could ask for anything more.
Fantastic. We're almost out of time, but if they want to get in contact, you have a website that people can get on? What's the website?
It's www.flippeters.com.
It's original.
It is original. Well, I was going to say Flip Wilson, but that had already been
I know.
used.
I hear Flip and I hear Flip Wilson.
That had been
You know,
used.
I don't know. We have 1 minute. You want to play us out? You had know an old Harold Arlen song, one of the great composers of all time?
You know, I can't really conjure one up because I don't do blues in the night.
Okay. Well,
How about?
start us off with a great one.
Well, let's do this song here. You're mean to me. Why must it be mean to me? Gee, honey, it seems to me you love to see me crying. Well, I don't know why I stay home each night when you say you phone. You don't, and I'm left alone, singing the blues and sighing. You always scold me each day of the year. You treat me coldly whenever somebody is near, dear. It must be great fun to be mean to me. You shouldn't, or can you see what you mean to me?
Fantastic. And this is Mike saying thanks for tuning in and good night to you, and especially to you.